Design is systems. When you start to look at the world as a system, everything is design.
Hi, I'm Christine Tan. I'm an architectural designer.
I'm Nicholas Taza. I am a graphic designer. We collectively are Fork Spoon. Fork Spoon just generally is a reflection of how we perceive design, or what we believe design's role is, and we believe that all design should be functional and utilitarian. If someone's going to take the time to design something, it should add value in some way to the world as a whole. So a fork and a spoon, we generally ask people, would you rather eat a bowl of spaghetti with your hands? And no, the answer is no, because I wouldn't. These things make our lives easier and they add value to the act of eating, so we want design to be the same thing.
Whatever you put on paper, everything should have a reason for it. There should be nothing, there should be no extraneous kind of detailing or anything like that. Like, if you're gonna do something, why put all the ornamentation and fluff around it? And then it kind of, I feel like it dilutes your message. So if what you can do with your design work, or at least what you're in the work that we do with like brand marks, if you can pare it down to the most simplest things, that's going to be stronger than having to rely on 10 different ways of rendering the image versus just having one very powerful mark to your company.
Yeah, it takes away from the clarity of an object. When you over design it, it just becomes superfluous. It just becomes too much. It loses, I think it starts to lose value. And our process is really unique too, because we've been together, we work together, we own a business together, we have dogs together, we've been together for almost 13 years, and we've grown as designers together. So I think our process is very much intertwined, even though she's much more of a maximalist than I am, for sure, as where I am very much white box, no interference. Sometimes I just like kind of static noise, where you like warmth and coziness. I swear sometimes I don't.
It's different when I think you're in a relationship with someone and you're working together, because there's that lack of
filter.
You can get right to it, but it is a good thing because you can get past it quicker, I feel like, than skirt around the issue.
But the thing is once I get over the fact that like, oh yeah, you're being a jerk, and then I look at it, I'm like, God damn it, like, you're right. And that's like the worst thing. Like, freaking right.
As designers and artists in general, you tend to be more critical of yourself, and that's part of working through your process, and it's much harder than to take one of your clients' work and listen to them and say, okay, I know where you need to go, because you can step out as literally an outsider and kind of work in that way where you're bringing information and clarity to a project. For us, you're already involved in it so much that it gets convoluted, because you're like, well, we do this and we do this and we do this and we do this. So.
Design, what we produce, it's not a tangible thing. It's a larger conversation, but I'd say we produce things that you can't measure immediately. So why do people see the importance of those things? Generally, people, when they have an idea, they have a restaurant, they have all these things. They have the grandiose notion that whatever they're doing is better than everyone else, and that no matter what they do, the food is going to drive everything. And sometimes that's true, but not always the case. A lot of times you can have a great product and fall flat on your face because your visuals, the way you reach people, the way you talk to them, is wrong. We're acknowledging what's happening out there. We're looking at contemporary trends, the way people are speaking, why it's working, why it isn't working. And we're strategizing. We're strategizing all the time, with or without clients. What is the best way to reach people? What is the best way to communicate? And I think that starts looking at how we perceive design's sole role or sole function in society. Is we think that design in all forms has a goal, and our goal is to communicate with people. Design is systems. When you start to look at the world as a system, everything is design. Government is a system. The roads are a system. The space, the way we have it laid out, is a system.
Right, and design isn't aesthetics, and I think that's the biggest problem that I think people don't appreciate design, is that they think it's very related to art, which is, I do agree, it's a little subjective, and it is about making something look beautiful, and there is concept there, but for a business to work where they're showing something visually, it's not about the artistic nature of it. It has to be about the way it functions as a system.
Yeah, yeah. It's interesting. People ignore it constantly, but they live in it. They don't even realize how much design impacts their lives, but it's not valued at all. It's actually really sad. It's really sad.
So that's why we have this storefront, is that we want it to be more of a public practice and a public understanding, and that you don't need to be scared of it or completely disvalue it. And so what we're doing here is trying to showcase it as a way of how we practice and what we can do for people, showcasing our public open for use library where people can come in and use the books and read them, or even just look at them and admire them as objects themselves. And then we have the retail component, which we curate throughout the year to showcase objects that somebody designed and took the care in manufacturing, figure out how it works, and that hopefully will kind of branch out into more people that see it in a different light within this space.
Yeah. Yeah, and we try to work really hard with people who know themselves well, that they have some type of perspective or viewpoint of why their product betters a market that's completely oversaturated, or they have ethos and values that are similar to ours.
We vet people, our clients, as much as they vet us, because if it's not a productive relationship, you're not going to get a good product out of it. With the work that we have to do, it is a little bit of collaboration where we rely on the client knowing what they want to get out of this, and if they don't know, it's much harder for us to kind of figure out what they want to get out of their own projects.
Totally.
And we found, because we are a really small team, it's too much work and too hard for us to kind of pry things out of people. There's a little bit of prying on our end, but for the most part, if the client doesn't know what they want, it might not be the right solution, or we just might not be the right collaborators, where they might find somebody that they align with better and they completely get them.
I mean, I think we try to be very sensitive in how we're answering a problem, and making sure that whatever we kind of produce is this very tight kind of package that feels like something. I don't think things feel like anything until they're put into context. So you can show me the most beautiful thing in the world, but if it's on a white sheet of paper, how does that relate to me? So I think that is, giving context, and how does it answer the specific problems that you're asking to engage with, and it's just, I think it's practicing design, whether it's visual or spatial, on a much more responsible level. Again, we talked about it at the lecture, but I think that a lot of designers out there bully clients into what they believe to be the right solution. But I think that's one of the most irresponsible things a designer could do, because again, I don't think you're assuming too much. No, you're not understanding. And it's a bad way to practice. We're gonna throw a high five in there. Ready?
No, we're not.
Yes.
No.
Yes, or tap spoons and forks.
I'm Nick.
I'm Christine.
We're Fork Spoon, a visual and spatial communication studio in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We sell things, and we have books that you can look at, and we do design work.